Alright, today we're making a classic World of Warcraft Paladin class tier list. And I know these aren't all the possible variations that you can play. There's of course many branching builds, but I'm gonna try to include the most classic and common builds and playstyles, and we're gonna go over both PvE and PvP. And we're gonna start out with PvP right now. So, control ret. This is when you play classical ret with no points in holy, but you go into the protection tree to get the reduced stun duration. It's a solid. I'd put it in B. It's mostly only good against casters, and it's hands down the best anti-caster spec the paladin can go. So if you just want to be able to beat mages, warlocks, priests, elemental shamans, this is the absolute best class to do it, and it also beats them fairly regularly. The problem with it is it's very gear dependent, and it performs very, very bad against melee, especially rogue. It's very, very bad against rogue. Next up, we have Holy Reckoning. I would put Holy Reckoning at a solid C tier. Now, there's a lot of paladins who really enjoy Holy Reckoning, and there's two variants. There's the classic one where you go only Holy and Protection Tree. That one is very, very bad in PvP overall. It's a pretty decent battleground or group PvP supporter, but it really, really lacks damage. It's terrible against all casters. It's not very overall good because it doesn't excel at anything. Your heals are pretty weak. Your Reckoning Bomb is also very weak. Everything it does is kind of mediocre. The good thing about it is it's a good jack of all trades. So yeah, you do heal a bit here and there, and yeah, you got a little bit of damage, and yeah, you can run into the front line and like soak up damage and take aggro from like their DPS characters, and then you bubble and run back, support. It's okay for battlegrounds, but for dueling, I would not recommend it. Then we have Holy, Deep Holy. I would put Holy in D. I understand there are some paladins who really like Holy, and I think even they would put it at either C or B at most. But in my testing and in my opinion, Holy is one of the absolute worst specs in the whole game for PvP. Like, here's the thing, they mostly just have single target heals, and in battlegrounds most of the time your teammates just die straight up. By the time you get a heal off, they've lost twice the amount of health, because especially on the alliance side, many of your teammates are going to be in green or blue gear unless you're in a full pre-made, and even then paladin, they get kind of feared or CC'd or dazed by a rogue or something, and then they're completely useless and they have to bubble. You have to bubble, and you will stand there for 12 seconds, and after that, if you get CC'd again, you're completely useless. It's good that they're still plate, so they can tank melee, but Horde usually plays casters, and Holy Paladin still dies to if a shaman decides to target you and he does his instant lightning bolt and they both crit, you're probably gonna be one shot anyway. So you're not very tanky in general. Like, you're tanky against melee but not against casters. So it might be a bit controversial for some, but trust me, if you try all these specs in PvP, Holy is about the worst of them. Now let's move on to Prot. Prot is a decent C tier. It's basically invincible against all melee. Like, if you play Prot with decent gear, you're never gonna lose to melee. You can probably 1 versus 3 any melee classes in the game and win, especially if you get like Thunder Fury, full T2, and like all that good stuff. Like, you're a pretty invincible beast against melee. However, the downside is are literally completely useless against all casters. Like you have a 0 chance of winning, like literally 0 chance of winning. So in dueling, fine against melee, terrible against range, and it's all right for battlegrounds if you're gonna grab the flag, but again, it's not the best thing. It's still better for a druid or a mage to grab the flag. So I mean, if you don't have any of that, you can go prot, but not very recommended. Next up, we have classic Reckoning, and that's solidly the best, hands down, PvP build a paladin can go. It's the in-game best anti-melee class out of all the classes. If you have all your CDs and your full bis, no other class will beat you, no matter what. Doesn't matter if it's like the world rank #1 rogue or best warrior in the world. If you're just a full bis average paladin, you're gonna always win the fight. And they have the potential where if you get shadow or frost resistance sets or glimmering Mithril, you can deal with all the casters relatively easily as well. But yeah, it struggles a lot inherently. Reckoning struggles a lot against the mage and priest. I would say those two are the counter classes, and again, you need to have the shadow and frost resistance sets, and even then, it's a little bit RNG if you're gonna win or not. But overall, Reckoning is the best PvP spec in the game. Now, next up, we have a classic Deep Ret. I would put Deep Ret in general in A tier. They got very good, decent damage. They do holy damage, and they do those 1 to 2k crits, which are very solid, and it's great against plate. They got decent amount of CC, and it's good overall against all classes. It struggles a lot against warrior and rogue, maybe even hunter a little bit, but casters become much easier since you have repentance and that higher damage. There's also 2 different ways you can play this. You can go a split where you can put instead of repentance, you put a little bit more in holy and get a guaranteed crit, and that way you can use a holy set and a ret set, and you can swap them in battleground, so you can at one moment be a almost full holy healer, which is the best way to heal in my opinion. If I was gonna heal in a battleground, I would go the ret build and go all into the rest of the points all into holy, and so when you can still crit and get your mana back. You know, when you crit heal, you get your mana back, and you have repentance as well, so you have extra CC. That's the absolute best way to play holy in my opinion in battlegrounds. But other than that, ret is very solid. It's very gear dependent, but it's also fine entry gear. So like full rank 14, you can go deep ret and do decently okay. And if your full bis is very solid. Now lastly, we have Shakadin, and I would put Shakadin at the highest B tier. I would kind of want to put it in between A and B, but you know, we only have A and B right now, so put it here. It's the best in-game jack of all trades, and it's probably the most fun PvP spec to play. It's also like outside of prot, maybe it's the only build you can play where you do something else than just auto attack, because you have your holy shock and you use your trinkets and gadgets a lot more. It does kind of the same against all classes. It's not the best against anything, it's not the worst against anything. It all comes down to do you have a good RNG on your burst, because Shakadin is able to basically take about 40 to 70% health of your enemy target in just one button in an instant. Like in one single frame, your enemy loses at least half their health, and it's very satisfying. Like you're fighting maybe a rogue or warrior, you whittle them down to half health, and then you press your button and they're dead. And they're always like, "What the hell happened? What did you do, dude? You're kinda you're using a shield. Why are you doing this damage?" And yeah, it's very fun. It got solid healing power as well, because it's kind of like the better version of Holy Reckoning. Because your heals are a bit more powerful, your damage is much better. You have your Holy Shock too, so you have your guaranteed crit, so you can, instead of doing a burst in the battleground, you can maybe save a teammate. You can do a 4k crit heal, a holy heal on like maybe the front warrior, or save the mage. It's overall a really good support class as well. Like all things considered, maybe even I would actually put it in A tier. Like if we include like battlegrounds and everything, I think it's probably an A tier. It's also the first build any paladin should go. Like the moment you hit 60, you should be going for tier 2 and some holy gear and build a Shakadin spec. That would be my recommendation to do for any paladin, and you will be relatively viable to fight others. So this is for PvP. Again, Reckoning the best, Deep Red second, Shakadin, Control Writs good against casters, Holy Reckoning and Prot is kinda situational and average supports, and Holy Paladin I wouldn't even bother with. Now, let's see here, let's reset it. Oh, okay, let's just redo it there. Let's go for PvE now. So this is the PvE version, and it's gonna be very, very different. So first off, Control Writ is completely useless. You're not gonna use this for anything in PvE. Yeah, it's just, don't even bother. Don't even bother. You're not for raids, dungeons, solo grinding, even for elite mobs. It's not good for anything. Now, Holy Reckoning is the best, hands down, the best PvE spec in the whole game. You can do everything. You can go to raids, you can boost, you can kill hard mobs, you can do anything. It's absolutely hands down the best spec. You don't need to respec either to go to raids. This is my secondary talent tree in Classic always, because you can do all PvE content. You can, depending on how you spec it, you can even tank in casual dungeons. So hands down the absolute best PvE spec, no questions about it. Now number 2 we have Prot. I would put Prot in solid B tier. You can't really raid or do much. You can AoE grind and you can boost. You can boost relatively well, but you boost much better as Holy Reckoning. But deep Prot you can boost, and again dungeons is okay. You could technically do raids. You could do Molten Core and Blackwing Lear as Prot if you're maybe the guild leader or something, but it's not recommended. Now we have Holy Paladin. I would put Holy Paladin in A tier. It is the best spec to go in all raids in general, but you're never gonna top heal. As a healer in general, Paladin is not really that good. They only single target heal, and you're basically never gonna be the top healer, so you're never gonna peak perform in any raid ever, because the priests and druids and kind of every other healer is better than Paladin in general. But we have very strong single target heals, and we're overall a pretty good, decent healer, just not the best. Holy Paladin is also always in demand to keep the tank alive, so it's gonna be the spec for raids and group content. Even for dungeons, it's probably better to go Holy. But yeah, it is what it is, you know. Paladins know how it is. Reckoning, probably either D or C tier. I mean, you can farm certain mobs, but that's kind of about it. This is not doing anything really in PvE. Next up we have Shakadin. I would put Shakadin. Shakadin is a solid. I'd put it in a solid A tier. I think it's better than Holy, because you can boost and do solo dungeons, and you can AoE grind, and you can also swap on a bit more melee gear and you can farm mobs much easier. Just grinding in general is very relatively comfortable as Shokadin. You're always high on mana, you never die. You don't need to worry about getting attacked by a player that much. You have dueling, you're able to duel, PvP a bit. It's overall a very good solid spec. There's a few things that it can't do, like you can't farm certain elites as well as Holy Reckoning does. And you might miss out on some important talents, so you can't go to all raids. And overall it's not as tanky, so certain dungeons you won't be able to boost as well. But other than that, it's very solid. And lastly, we have Deep Ret. Now Deep Ret I would put it at B tier. It's probably the best class to kill mobs with. If you're just doing something like farming Crusader enchant and you're just killing single target mobs, then it's very good. And if you have like full bis in raids, you can do pretty decent damage as well. It's also the class you're gonna use when you level, like when you level from 1 to 60, you're gonna be running Deep Ret. And yeah, it's very decent on the single auto attacking aspect of the game. Anyway, this is a summary. Holy Reckoning is absolutely best, does everything perfectly. Shokadin overall very decent, Holy good for raids, good to level and single target hit, decent for dungeons and maybe some AoE grinding, and these two completely useless for PvE. And that's gonna be it. This is the relatively very decently accurate Paladin spec tier list. Let me know what you think in the comments, and see you in the next one.